Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Family Love and Bonds. So, we wanted to mention that the primary vision for this channel, what is behind this channel, is that we want to help people just like ourselves to build strong homes. We all know that the marriage institution or a home is the unit of society. So, if we have strong homes, we're going to have strong societies. Better societies means better homes. So in the next few videos, we are going to maybe about 12 episodes or so. We are going to focus on a series, targeting couples like ourselves, particularly modern couples who are busy, who need maybe intentionality to be able to make marriage work better. We see a lot of heartbreaking marital outcomes. That's why we are doing this video, and we hope this will be a blessing to you and many others. So today, in the first episode, we're focusing on the foundation of marriage. Okay, so the title for this episode that you must have seen is The Foundation of a Blissful Marriage. And three things we're emphasizing today: vision, values, and teamwork. So strong marriages are intentional. You see, organizations have their vision, mission statements. They have values. Those of us who work in the NHS know in your trust, you have values, for example. And these things drive what we do day to day. So it's important if organizations could have visions and have mission statements, have values. The question is, do we have values? Do we have, vision statements in our homes? And I want to ask you, and we're asking you, do you have a vision for your home? Statement that says this is what this home is going to be all about. And at the end of this video, we're going to kind of suggest you do that, because vision plus values creates unity. And you're going to see why we said so. So like you can write it as an equation: vision plus values equals unity. You see, so many couples struggle due to lack of clarity. If we have visions, we have values, it will be easier for us, to make our marriages work. In this episode, again, we're focusing on building a strong foundation.
So, why does marriage need a vision? In Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18, the Bible says that without a vision, the people perish. And that simply means that when there is no vision, there is no purpose, there's no direction, there's no guidance, and therefore dreams could perish. Of course, can you just imagine yourself driving a car with no singular direction? You don't have a GPS, no Google Maps showing you where you're going, in case you don't really know the exact address. So that's why vision is very important in marriage. Without vision, couples drifts. That is, anything goes. There's no particular. That means each of the couple can do whatever they wish, whatever they like, because there's no particular purpose
In fact, driving them in different. It can be going
different
in
directions. Yeah, and that way the marriage might not work. Okay, so also when there is no vision, misunderstandings increase. Of course, there will always be misunderstandings, but then it worsens when there is no vision. Without vision, decisions feel confusing because you don't really have like a plan on ground upon which you make decisions. That's why vision is very, very important. Also, when there is no vision, couples begin to disconnect. There's disconnection because it seems there's no purpose. It seems
things are not working.
It seems things are not working. So vision provides clarity in relationship, really. And that's why, if you are listening to us, you are yet to be married, you are in a relationship, I think it's good you start by sitting down and having a clear vision to direct you into your marriage. Also, if you're married, it's not too late. You can still come together to, have a vision to work on the vision you want to run with in your marriage. So vision, creates clarity in a relationship, also in marriages. Also, vision helps in decision making. In fact, it facilitates unity in decision making because you'll be united because you have a clear goal, you have a vision you're running with. So it makes decision making easier in a relationship. Vision encourages, it helps during challenges. Marriages have challenges, and we're not here to say you won't face challenge in your marriage. But then when there is vision, there's encouragement. When there is vision, then you are able to model your children to follow. It creates a kind of model for your children to follow when there is vision in that marriage. So it's very, very important to have a vision.
And talking about challenges, so just like you quoted that, without a vision, the people perish. Opportunities are lost.
Yeah.
So if you do have a vision, and some of the other things we're going to talk about, like values and team, will help you to understand better. You see challenges as opportunities. Yeah. So you see every conflict as an opportunity for growth, opportunity to grow, and opportunity to be stronger, to
learn as well.
To learn. So that will help better than you just not having any vision and purpose. Just like my wife gave examples. So if you see opportunities because you don't have a vision, you don't recognize that this is an opportunity for me to make my vision work. And we were talking we are very busy as a couple. But because of the vision that we have for this channel, that's why we are talking today. Otherwise, we'd have forgotten it because there are lots of other things taken as business.
Yeah.
Because the vision brought us back to say, we have to do this. As well in 2026, we are renewing our vision to make sure that we work things out.
Yeah. So, for us to help you to have a vision, we want to suggest some questions, to help you, have a vision. So, some of the questions are: what kind of home are we building? What kind of home are we building? In answering that question, you are able to write down a vision for your family to work with. Also, what atmosphere should define our home? It's another good question to ask when writing a vision. Another question is, what relationship do we want our children to observe?
Mhm.
That's very important. Just as we are all adults, sometimes when we look back, we remember our homes, how we grew up with our parents. We remember some of those things that happened, some of the things that transpired between our parents. We remember. So we should also be intentional. Now that we are adults, we also have our home. We need to intentionally create a kind of atmosphere that will like our children, to grow in. Then what we want them to learn, we want them to observe about us. That's very important. One last question, but not the least, is how should we treat each other during conflicts? It's very important. Like I mentioned the other time, we can't do without conflicts, without disagreement. But how do we treat each other when that happens? Very important. Right now, we'll move to the second pillar we want to talk about, which is values.
So now we're focusing on values. Values are very important, and values are like the stones or the bricks that form a vision. So pay attention to this aspect, and then later we're going to do a practical aspect that will be helpful. Now, we're actually focusing on these values being shared values. You can have values based on your background, and your partner also has their own values.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to emphasize shared values where there are values that definitely you share, you may not be aware. And when you do the exercise, you're going to recommend at the end of this video, you see it can be very insightful, because when myself and my wife did it, oh my God. So there were some of the aspects that we wrote exactly the same thing. You'll be surprised. And now, so values shape the culture of the home. That's why values are important. We were talking about what kind of atmosphere do we want our home to be. And so that is values in practice when we talk about atmosphere, because values determine the culture in your home. And every home actually has values, chosen or accidental. You do have values. You may not have intentionally chosen those values, but there are some values that are currently driving your marriage or your home. If you do have children, they are also keyed into those values. Unfortunately, you may be very unaware of those values because you're not intentional about the values. But the thing is, shared values reduce conflict because we have shared we have a shared understanding of the things that we value, and you're going to understand this better. And we want to kind of go into that yet. You see, so values guide daily decisions. When we want to make decisions, and let me just make it practical. If your background determines the kind of choices you make, for instance, the kind of clothes you buy, the kind of places you go, because of your values, the values that you've grown up with. So if you do have values for your home, they will also guide what kind of things you prioritize. When you're making decisions about spending money, it will be easier for both of you because you have shared values and you understand better. I keep saying you understand better. By the end of this video, you understand better. And so let's look at some examples of marriage values. It could be kindness, respect, or honesty with gentleness. So it's because some people believe that they can be honest and frank. That is me. I just say my mind as it is. But the Bible says you should tell the truth with love, for instance. So let's say your value is that whenever you're telling each other, you're being honest and frank with each other, you will do it with respect, you do it with gentleness. So that's a value that will help you. Anytime you need to do that, you have that at the back of your mind. I still need to be very polite, respectful about it, even though I'm saying my mind. Emotional safety could be your value, which simply some people call it psychological safety. So you have that liberty to say your mind without being worried that you'll be criticized for it because of by your partner. So that's that sense of safety that you can say your mind, you can present yourself as you are. Somebody is not trying to make sure you are exactly who they want you to be. His emotional safety. So patience and forgiveness could be, other values that you want to have for your home. Growth or maybe consistency. So just to give you some examples of, values. So, but when values are different, so definitely there'll be frequent disagreements because your values are different. There'll be confusion for the children. The children don't know which values to follow because mom is thinking this is the way, dad is saying that is the older one, and the other one is better. So there will be emotional distance. There'll be no emotional connection, the family, in the home environment, between the couple, between the children and their parents, and each person will be feeling unheard or unsupported. So that marriage cannot work. And that's trying to look at the foundation of many homes. Those are some of the things that are causing some of the negative outcomes we're observing outside there in terms of marriage outcomes.
Now I want to talk about teamwork in marriage. Your spouse is not your enemy. The Bible says that the man will come together with the woman and they will become one flesh. So that is the way marriage was instituted. Teamwork. You're supposed to come together and work together as one, with one purpose, with one vision. Okay, with shared vision, shared value. So the problem is the enemy, and your spouse is not your enemy. So in marriage, we use we language, and that helps, and that shows that we are really working as a team. So we work together against challenges. Challenges normally come, then we work together as a team to to face challenges, and that way we are able to overcome our challenges. So in a team marriage, that is in a marriage where we work together as a team, there's no score keeping. We don't keep records
Offenses.
of offenses. Thank you very much. You don't keep records of offenses. You don't write it down or write it in your brain. No, you don't keep such records. The Bible also encourages forgiveness anyway. So also you avoid blame shifting. That wrecks marriage. Okay, so you listen to understand, listen to your spouse, listen to each other, not to respond, but to understand. Also protect each other's dignity. That's very important. Even during conflict, try as much as possible to protect each other's dignity. Celebrate wins together. Celebrate wins together. You shouldn't be at loggerheads with your spouse because they are making it or they are ahead and you are still coming right behind them. No, celebrate wins together.
So you can't be envious of your partner because they just got a promotion or they got a better job or their salary is higher than yours if you are 18. And so because you're one anyway. So if the other person is making it, you're also making it.
Same pros, same family. So the money belongs to the family, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's go right into the vision exercise. So the first step is this. So number one, you both do this exercise. Each of you has a sheet of paper. Then what you're going to do, number one thing you're going to ask yourself and write down is, what do I want our home to feel like? What do I want our home to feel like? Not what do we want. What do I want our home to feel like? Number two, what do I want our relationship to look like? What kind of relationship do I want our relationship to be? Number three, what do I want our children to remember about our home? That's a very critical question, very important question to ask and to answer with intentionality. And then the fourth question is, what values matter most to me? So write down, say 3 or 5 values that matter most to you. So in the second step, what you're going to do is that you share reflections respectfully. So you can exchange the sheet of paper at the end of the exercise, and then you read what the other person has read and has written down, and kind of share, reflect on that. You will, like I said earlier, you will find some very interesting things. You'll discover something, and then find common themes. You will see some of the things that you wrote are similar. Oh, you two are thinking in this direction. Try and write down, let's say 3 to 5 core values. We have 7 values, but we're not recommending that. So have at least 3. Have on the average 5. You can have more than that. That's you put together those values that you're going to write, put together to form a mission statement. So from the values, you can then create a marriage vision statement. So you keep it brief and clear. Let me give you an example. It could be, our home will be peaceful, respectful, and growth oriented. So 3 values are in this vision statement. So you can develop something like that for you that is unique to you.
So we now move to episode challenge. In this episode, we are putting out a challenge, to help you put all that we've talked about into practice. We have also done it, and it was really very interesting, to be honest. So the first one is schedule 30 minutes vision conversation with your partner. This might be your fiance or fiancé. Have a conversation with them, vision conversation. Discuss values and expectations. Then write or refine your marriage vision. If you are not yet married, write your vision, in anticipation. Write your marriage vision.
Even if you're married, you don't have a vision yet.
Yeah,
write it. If you do already have a vision, you can refine it.
Yeah, that is it. So, and place it somewhere visible, somewhere you can always see it and run with it.
And your children will see it. If you have children, they are part of the marriage unit.
Yeah.
So what are the key takeaways from this video as we round up? So we're saying, number one, that vision strengthens connection. So vision is very important, and shared values reduce conflict. And we're saying that teamwork improves problem solving because it's easy to solve problems and to resolve conflicts when you work as a team. And intentional effort, builds a joyful home because we're intentional about whatever we do. In the next episode, please don't miss it. We're going to focus on communication, and this is a very key issue that can help build strong homes. What do you want to say, Shirley, before we end this video?
Kindly like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Yeah, so we are inspired by what some of the things we've had, and some of the things we are still going to say. We are loaded. This year we're really loaded, I can promise you. And there's a lot coming ahead. Now, if you know any couple that you know will benefit, because you have been inspired by this video, please don't keep this to yourself. Share it with them. And I'm sure they will be very grateful that you did. Thank you. See you in the next video.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.